Yo, what's good? It's Mastermind MMA, and I'm sure we all know by now, Bisping versus GSP is happening. Dana White said it, and I called this shit from the moment they said that. Oh, it's off. I'm like, bro, this shit is not off. They're like, oh, it's the interim belt. Whoever wins this interim belt is gonna face that's Bisping's next opponent. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then there's videos I've done during that time period where I said this shit's gonna happen. GSP's still gonna fight him. And then yeah, dude, so Dana was like, oh, I decided in the 5th round of the Woodley Maya fight. Yeah, I'm not doing it anymore. And that can be, dude, who are you kidding, man? Like, everyone knows that shit was already gonna happen. And just to like put that on Tyron is wrong as shit. Like, granted, that's not the most entertaining fight, but dude, like he defended his belt. And another thing is that, like, yeah, he could have done more. He probably could knock them out. Now he said his labrum ripped in the 1st round, but I mean, like, yeah, he could have, but you don't, like, as the promoter, I could get like fans getting on him, but as the promoter, dude, you can't get like on the fan side with that aspect, because that's fucked up, because that you're literally throwing your business partner under the bus. I get that they're quote unquote contractors and shit, but imagine fucking, I don't know, man, just like, just say you're at your fucking job, dude. Like, say you're in construction, and then say you're just you work for a contractor, and then they send you to do the job, and then I don't know, man, like, say it's off, or like something needs to be adjusted, and then when the owner is talking to the contractor, and the contractor's just like, what? My worker did that? Oh, he did such a shit job, man. This is like his 3rd time doing this shit job. Like, I don't think I'm gonna send him to job sites anymore. And like, when the guy is like, all right, bro, it's just like, you gotta just adjust something quick. Like, it's just like it's just maybe just readjusting some trim or some shit like that. And then he's just like going hard as shit, like, oh, blah 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 blah. And it's just like, really, man, like, you're part of that, you know what I mean? Like, he's still part of your company. And it's just like, what are you doing that for? Because I'm not even saying like, oh, bro, that was the best fight I've seen. It was such a technical chess match. It was a technical chess match, and it was very tactical. But even like, when at the like, as a tactician looking at it from that standpoint, it's still not it's not as complex of a tactical matchup, because it's not like 2 world-class jiu-jitsu guys going at it, where then like you look at it with a jits eye, so you're gonna see all that shit going down, like all the scrambles, transitions, and shit like that. But this is a fucking jiu-jitsu guy. It's just like specialist versus a stand-up, just making it really simple. As long as he stuffed the takedown, he was good. Which we saw Myas go for that shit 24 times, and he stuffed that shit 24 times. So it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. And looking at the matchup, looking at both fighters, looking at Tyron's last performance, looking at Tyron's performance since he got the belt, it's like, this is what it was going to be. And in my prediction video, I called it, man. Like, I was like, this is exactly what's going to happen. And it's like, that's Tyron Woodley. And another thing is, like, I didn't really have any problem with Tyron before. And fucking call I did with Jamari yesterday. We were talking about Robbie Lawler leaving ATT, and that, like, it was like, all right, yeah, dude, like, you're a champ of that camp. Like, T Wood co-founded that camp. And then you're a champ. You lost to T Wood. It's time to go. And Jamari like called that shit. And then I said, yeah, I think I heard Tyron like alluding to that, basically like saying it before in interviews. And then yesterday with Ariel, when Ariel talked about, oh, Dana was talking about doing the Lawler rematch. He was like, why should I rematch Robbie Lawler? What did he do? He came out of hiding after getting knocked out in one fight, and then he was very aggressive with it. He was like, dude, I didn't do that when I got knocked out, da 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 da. And I was like, yo, chill. Like, why are you going so hard, like, in on Robbie Lawler? Because you don't know. Maybe it wasn't just the fact that he got knocked out. Maybe he had personal shit going on. So it's like, if you don't know what's going on in someone's life, to just say some shit like that. So I mean, like, Tyron was like, and like, as he likes to quote and say, going quote unquote, mask off. And it's like, yeah, dude, like, that's a dope song, and like, now it's at the tail end of it, shit, like, it's passed by, and you're still like referencing. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like that. It's just some shit where that older dude is just like trying way too hard to keep like in touch, and it's like, it shouldn't even be that way, because he should naturally have, like, be cool, but he doesn't really have that in him. And his personality, like, you see certain things in his personality stick out, and that's what really turns fans away. And it's like, kind of like this, like, I don't know, man, like, it's just like, it wouldn't be, I don't think it'd be that cool to be hanging out with Tyron Woodley, you know what I mean? Like, this is a world-class fighter, like an amazing UFC fighter who has a pretty crazy resume, and it's like, I don't even know, man, like, what would we be like it feels like just kicking it with someone, you know what I mean? Like, not even just like meeting up and talking MMA, just straight like fucking chilling, and like, you know, lighting few up, drinking with. It's just like, nah, nah, I'm not trying to do it. Like, he just has those personalities where, you know, even if you were friends with him, you'd be coming up with those things where he just seems like that friend that'd be like, like the friend that does, like, you know how when you're good friends with somebody and then you like look out for each other, you do things back and forth, and he'd be that dude where like, well, I did this for you, and then you'd be like, dude, well, I did so much more for you, but, you know, then you'd be exactly stooping to that same level they are. So that's some annoying shit, you know what I mean? So like that, he's shown me that in his personality, because I get that it's wrong for the UFC to do that to him, but at the same time, dude, like, for him to, I mean, like, the way he called out Robbie Lawler was like, not called out Robbie Lawler, that like basically turned down Robbie Lawler was pretty fucking wild. Even if there is beef, it's like, dude, like, it's just disrespectful, you know what I mean? And if you don't plan on fighting him, then why are you gonna take that beef there? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, dude, that wasn't cool. And like, riding off of your last 3 performances, I get it was the situation you were in. They were the top contenders. They were specialists in their fields, and you had they were proving problems to people, going on crazy streaks, 7-fight win streaks, and you came with the solution. But the solution wasn't that great, bro. And granted, yeah, you did knock out Robbie Lawler. He was a beast at that point. Good for you, but in this sport, really, I'm not saying this is exactly how I feel, but really in this sport, it's what have you done for me lately? And this motherfucker, we're fresh off the 2 Wonder Boy fights in our mind, and that the 205 one, it was good, it was a cool fight, but when I watched it back, like, in the moment when you're on the edge of the seat, you don't know what's gonna happen, it's cool, but when you watch it back, it's like, yo, besides those moments, it was kind of like boring. And then the second fight was just boring, and it just had that one moment, and I was like, all right. And then with Maya, I was like, all right, it's going to be another boring fight. And then that's what it was. And, you know, it's crazy because I forgot. I started this video talking about Bisping GSP. And so anyway, I'll get back to that bullshit. So Bisping GSP is fucking... It's going to happen, and here's exactly what's going to happen with the division. And here's the effect that it's going to have on the division. Because Robert Whittaker is next in line. But now they're going to do... But his knee's hurt. So, you know, they're so grateful that Robert Whittaker's knee got kicked in by Yoel. So now they're like, all right, so now we have the perfect... We have the whole landscape to reintroduce it. We were gonna do it anyway. Now's the best time to announce it and get it back on, because we already said that it was off. So they did that, and GSP is going to beat Michael Bisping. He's going to hold him down. I don't think it's going to be that entertaining of a fight either. And then he's going to win the belt. And you see, back when it was Yoel, I was like, yo, GSP doesn't want any smoke with Yoel. He's not about that life. He's going to immediately vacate. But now that it's Robert Whittaker, I mean, Robert Whittaker was fucking fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Bobby Nux is the man. But I still think GSP is going to think, and this is in GSP's mindset, that he would be able to possibly execute his game plan of control on Robert Whittaker. So I think that he might take the Whittaker fight, which is most likely a better option than going down and fighting T Wood. So I feel like GSP actually really might fight Whittaker. Because beforehand, I was actually thinking that GSP would just vacate and then Whittaker would get promoted to undisputed. But now when I'm actually really thinking about it, who would GSP rather face? Tyron Woodley or Robert Whittaker? But Robert Whittaker is still a beast, dude. I don't even know if GSP would... I don't know, because Robert Whittaker did used to be a 70er. And, I mean, yeah, he used to be a 70er, so I don't know if... I think GSP would probably take that fight. But which is more dangerous for him, Tyron Woodley or Robert Whittaker? Because I think Robert Whittaker, there's still some unknowns that people are learning about him. Because Yoelito is fucking a Cuban Olympic silver medal caliber wrestler. And Robert Whittaker had answers to that wrestling. So, I mean, GSP has the best wrestling for MMA and probably the best jab in MMA. And I don't know if I would say he would try that over Woodley. So yeah, I would say GSP would actually probably. I guess then that would be the unification bout. So GSP really legit might become the undisputed middleweight champion of the world when he beats Bisping, and then he might unify it. But I have him beating Bisping, and yeah, dude, I feel like I always knew this shit was gonna happen. And the fact that it's just like another one of those Brock Lesnar's not fighting at UFC 200. We are not selling the company to WME IMG. And you could just go on and on and on and on with all those press releases Dana said. So you already know it's Mastermind MMA.